Time now for the voice of the land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Always Positive Jay.
Where are you going with the blame game for the
You get
Browns?
a drum
loss?
roll. The Browns. That's who I blame. All of you, the coaching, the players, the kicker, the quarterback. You were all at fault today. It was a complete team loss. Special teams, offense, and defense. Was the offense out there scoring points? Yes. But when the critical time came, you threw an interception right to the dude. And if you missed him, there was another Charger right behind you. So it's your fault. Kevin, why aren't you running the ball when you're on the goal line, you silly? Ooh. You knew I wanted to do it.
Oh,
But no, I actually did it on purpose. Yes, and Cade, I understand you're a rookie, but you're missing the easy one. I can't let you off the hook on that. You're in trouble for that. And Joe Woods, I don't know what you're doing, dude. I right now, honestly, I don't know if it is Joe Woods or just complete poor execution on the players.
I think it's all of it.
Because that was the softest defense I've seen in so long. Where is the tackling? You guys look like little kids trying to tackle adults out there. And Austin Eckler ain't all that big, and he's just trucking you guys over. Like, come on. Browns, I blame you.
Peter?
I don't think I can follow that. I mean, I was,
Oh, I had that worked up. When I
man.
told you about my walk, that was my walk, and I was just letting it out to no one.
I mean, because I will say, I don't disagree with any of that. I mean, Jacoby Brissett has performed much better than I had hoped for, except those freaking interceptions in critical time.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
He
but
could have just ran. He
know.
literally could have just ran that. I don't. He could have got the first down or the touchdown.
I know.
When worst thing happens, you get tackled and you get 3 points. We would have been up by 1.
Yep. And that, I mean, yeah, complete collapse. I think the whole team just didn't do enough.
Yeah, I don't. So collapse. You know, they were up. Of course, they were up 14-0. So that's kind of where the collapse started. Like you had the foot on the throat, as they say, and that's kind of a morbid way to say things, but you get the picture. Like you had the foot on the gas, and you took it off way too quickly.
Oh yeah.
The offense went 3 and out a couple times. You're letting. Oh boy. a team that came in, I don't know if they were ranked last in the NFL, but all I heard to start the game and throughout the game, boy, the Chargers are one of the worst teams in the NFL in rushing attack. And boy, did they come out to run today. 238 yards?
It's like I think, did the team listen to these press clippings? Like, I know that the Chargers were ranked the worst rushing team, but I also know they have Austin Eckler, who's one of the best running backs in the league. Don't follow stats after 4 games. They're very misleading. These defensive tackles are completely garbage. Like, I was like, yeah, maybe we don't need Sue. You know, we might need Sue. We need some attitude on this defense because, like I said, they're as soft as Huggies diapers. Like, come on.
The only attitude they're giving is to referees and then getting penalties. Whether they're justified or not, they're concerned more about the calls they're not getting. And I'm looking at images and replays through social media or wherever it may be of players on the Browns defense, like, looking disgusted and like what am
Guess what? Both teams don't get calls, dude. Like, I don't care about your damn ref problems, dude.
Or it's because they're looking at each other because there's a miscommunication. Miscommunications are over.
Yeah,
It is week 5. That might be something that starts the year. That should be easily correctable. That's coaching. Players are not executing. Miles talked after the game that there were a couple times, and I put a couple for those listening on the Google, Spotify, or Apple, or any other podcast platform version of the show, the audio version that audio puts together. Weird sentence to put together there. But if you're listening to that, I put couple times in quotes because that's what he was saying. There were many times where they got out of alignment. And Los Angeles took advantage of it. Again, you let the worst team in the NFL, if not one of the worst teams, if not the worst team, in rushing, outrush you or
You jump started their rushing attack is what you did.
You gave him 238 yards. And the other thing that I absolutely hate about this team, and I have hated it for the last few years, you don't get off the field on third down. You don't let your offense get back on the field by stopping the other team, especially in crucial moments. When your offense is down by 6 points and they go down and they score and they take the lead, your offense is now in a rhythm. They've gotten the momentum back. What do? You just let the lanes open up again. You part the Red Sea for the Chargers and you let them score and take the lead. So all of that momentum, any of that energy that's starting to shift to your sideline goes away. And Cade, I love you, buddy. Like that was, you talking about soccer, that only goes so far. If you're going to miss kicks, you're a 4th-round pick. Guess what? I understand rookie, whatever, but you got to take
it together.
You got to take blame on you, and I'm sure he does. Like he's one of those people who will actually be accountable and actually work on it.
And for people, there's a stat. I think Phil Dawson only hit 68% of his field goals his rookie season. Like, it's a very hard place to learn to kick.
It is.
So, I'm going to be extremely lenient on him the whole season, his rookie season. I will. I just want him to get better. You got to make those, though. You got to make those.
But again, here's the difference between us and probably other shows. Like they're gonna find that one person to go at, and I'm sure it'll be Cade. That's the nasty side of Cleveland fandom, or all the other types of shows like what we are doing. Like fan podcasts or shows. Like we're trying to be different. We're trying to make sure that the majority like us that see things for what they really are, help you to keep seeing that, because you have.
When everyone zigged and zagged, when everyone zigged, they wanted to be the hot button, the hot points, hot takes, rile you guys up, say things to get Browns fans riled up. We're going to go back to the old school way, and when no one else is doing it that way, that's how we're going to do it.
And what's disgusting is there's probably people out there that are sending on social media like terrible messages to Cade for.
Dude, Abby Muller, I want to say on Twitter, said it perfectly. Let's not at players after the game. Let's, come on.
Make sure you at all the players that held in it. Now, again,
just don't add any of the players, dude. Like, you want to vent, go ahead and vent, but you don't have to sit there and be like, this dude's trash, and have pile on him with a million fans going at someone. Like, dude, that ain't helping any.
I mean, I'm gonna vent and at somebody right now. Like, I'm glad that he is okay and that his passenger was okay. But Myles Garrett, if you really want to be one of the best defensive players in the league, like no matter what you go through, you got to come through and make a play. Like we can say that, oh my gosh, he's coming around the edge and he got pressure, and it's not just about getting sacks. But when those plays need to be made defensively, you expect Aaron Donald to go make them, T.J. Watt to go make them. Who doesn't make them enough? Myles doesn't make them enough. And I'm sure if there was enough people watching, I'm sure I have a lot of people coming at me like, how could you go at Myles? He's coming back from a car accident and everything. If we're going to separate what the quarterback that everybody wants to see on the field was accused of and his football ability, I'm going to separate unfortunate real-life events that miraculously and pray graciously that he survived, his passenger survived. If you feel like you are good enough to play in the game, if we're going to look at it from a pure football standpoint, you got to go make a play.
Like,
I know it's probably the wrong time to do it, but that part is frustrating, and no matter what happens outside of football,
if you're going to come back, come back, you're ready to go. I expect Myles Garrett out there. I don't
expect what I'm saying.
More than if you're good out there, I expect you to play and be good out there. They have a backup tackle in there, and that guy didn't. I don't think he got a sack today. Like, I thought he was going to be eating today, and he was not eating. And it just felt like they were like inviting him in and then just throwing the screen or a pass right in the flat, and they were just running it for 20 yards left and right on third down. I don't know how many times I've seen a third down pass into the flat go for 20, 15 yards. I'm like, is anyone like I knew it was coming. That's why I said, is it Joe Woods is that the scheme, or I don't know what the plays call is. So because frankly, no one unless you're the coach, you don't know what the play call is right now. Is it?
And it's gonna be some weird.
Is
thing
it someone in the secondary blowing coverage that should be out there? Is it a linebacker or something that should have been there? I don't know. I'm not going to get on here and talk about like I know everything. We've already discussed this. I'm not going to get more into that. But come on, Miles, I need more from you, bro.
Yeah. It goes back to every conversation that we had last year. If you are going to be out there on the field, we expect you to execute.
And you don't have the excuse that Jadeveon Clowney wasn't on the opposite side.
He was
on
on the
out
opposite
there
side
today,
and he was able to play and didn't do much either. Like he shares in it. Jadeveon Clowney, you were a number one pick, and yes, you've gone through injuries and kind of traveled teams, but it seemed like you guys had that connection. It seemed like this defense had that connection. This was the group that was coming back basically intact. Everything was ready to go, and they look like they have never played together ever. They're
way out of sync.
And it's week 5. Like I get it, still early, and I got to put early in quotes. It's not good enough. The last person before we go to break that I gotta bring up for blame game, and it's probably the one that frustrates me the most, and it's getting to Hugh Jackson, Freddie Kitchens level, and saying the same thing in a press conference. Well, I gotta be better. I gotta be better for our guys. We gotta be better. We gotta learn from this.
Become a catchphrase.
You're just saying it, but it doesn't happen. You gotta hold yourself accountable and actually show it. That's why we talk about all the time.
I'm sorry. Going for it when he went for it on 4th down in their territory, that's a boneheaded move, dude. Oh my God, was I mad about that one? Like, oh, you got balls, as they would say. Like, dude, no. No good coach is going for it on 4th down in enemy territory when they have an explosive offense like that. You're giving up points, dude. Don't.
I mean, and both coaches did that. And, okay, they take a timeout. If you're going to go for it, do what you've done every single time, and that's Jacoby Brissett sneaking the ball because it wasn't just a yard. It was inches. Okay, you take a timeout. You're going to try to, stack the box. You're going to try to stop this sneak. Guess what? I'm going to show you how much balls I got, and I'm going to call the play that I've always done that has worked this season. Jacoby Brissett, go ahead and sneak the ball because you're a big dude. You reach the ball across. They'll give you forward progress, and now you move on. Now you go back to some, whatever stretch play or whatever it was.
It was a run to Kareem Hunt.
And,
as soon as you go backwards, you're losing 2 yards a second. You hand the ball off. He has to gain that back. And you want to talk about they do analytics. I'm pretty sure they say it's 95% of the time Jacoby Brissett gets a first down on those 4th and inches or 4th and 1s. That's great. You probably should have called that one, so there's a whole nother problem with that play calling. But I don't care. When you are on the opposite side of the 50, just punt the ball. But obviously, your defense ain't that good. He don't trust his defense.
He's trying to keep the best unit out there, and the best unit is the offense. But when money time comes, I was told that no matter who was going to be in there, suspension, no suspension, the guys that they brought in as backups was a better option than what we had last year. And we are seeing the same thing we talked about last year. In winning time, you are not winning. You are throwing interceptions. And then your kicker is not making those kicks. Your defense really isn't stopping anybody. Luckily, your offense is high-powered enough earlier in the game to keep it close.
Not even that it's not even contested. It's not like, oh my God, the defensive player made some crazy play on a good throw. No, that was just a terrible throw.
Yeah,
there was no Browns around. It threw it right to the guy. And if you watch replay, if he misses him go high, it goes to another. I'm like, who's he throwing to?
And he reaches back for it, and Amari's coming across the field. The ball is going away from him. It's tailing away. It's probably going into another Chargers.
Sorry, Paul. The Brissett train just trashed itself and crashed right off the tracks.
I mean, the Brissett Express can be as great as it wants to be and as as much of a locomotive down the tracks as it wants to be for the first three and a half quarters, even maybe only the first half. But in winning time, again, I know it's a backup, and everybody will make the excuse. This is why he's a career backup in the NFL. Well,
He's my starter right now.
they brought him in knowing that a suspension was coming, no matter whether they knew how long it was going to be or not. They thought this guy could get it through. And if it was only going to be 6 games, guess what? You're 5 games into that 6 games, and you are below 500. And he has not gotten you through to this point. Next week is a must-win. You got to get back to 500. And you're at home. It's against the Patriots. You never know what's going to happen there. Bill Belichick coming back in and, one of the masterminds, but they haven't had a great season. They've had a lot of injuries. That's a must-win.
They're getting lucky with their division right now. They're getting
God.
super lucky because the Bengals play the Ravens tonight, so one of them are just going to beat each other. I don't know which way we even want that to win. I think you want the Bengals to win, but they're coming on too. So you better get it together because these teams are the Ravens are scary good. Don't look at that record. They're very, very good. And the Bengals are no joke either. The Steelers, well, they suck, so we don't really have to worry about them.
Yeah, so much for the Kenny Pickett
Kenny
experiment.
Carney-Hands can't do anything.
Yeah. All right. Is everybody good? Everybody feel...
Well, I was going to throw this out just to throw it out. What was it? Was it 2018, 2019? We started with the tie.
Yeah, 2018. It was
2018,
it was Baker's rookie year.
That was Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Gotta watch the film.
through five games, we had a better record with Hugh. We were 2-2-1.
Oh, God, why'd you do that to me? Oh, no. All right.
Blake staring at the camera. I'm like,
All right, break time.
I ain't getting into that.
All right.